Sometimes you see something in a video game that makes you, huh? How did this get here? This is why today we're looking at the 7 most mysterious unsolved objects in video games, Part 2. Brought to you by Ninja Must Die, a new side-scroller and mobile RPG that integrates action combat in ways never before in a platform runner. With over 100 million downloads, Ninja Must Die is a game that goes far beyond the typical mobile runner, including a robust story involving a conflict between the ninjas and the samurai, whose warring is about to unleash an ancient evil. Its fluid ninja parkour combat and catching painted ink and wash aesthetic makes Ninja Must Die a standout from the pack. Download Ninja Must Die now with my link down below to win awards and bonuses today. Grand Theft Auto Online. Thanks to Chris P for submitting this discovery on Oddheader.com. Grand Theft Auto Online was released in 2013 as the online component to Grand Theft Auto 5, and re-released in 2022 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. Chris was playing on the Cayo Perico map, which was released as part of the Cayo Perico heist update, when he found what appeared to be a small sack doll face sitting on a random rock. Chris used the Codewalker development tool and was able to confirm that this is the only place in the game that this object appears, and also appears to be called Josky in the files. Josky? Fortunately, I was able to find Josky in the Urban Dictionary, which says a Josky is an itch between your nutsack and inner thigh. And now I just have more questions. Hold on. I got an itch. Demon's Souls. 2020's Demon's Souls was a PlayStation 5 launch title and remake of the original 2009 game by From Software. The developer of the remake, Bluepoint Games, stayed mostly true to the original Demon's Souls, though they upgraded a few features and added some new items to the game, including what seems to be an item that players searched everywhere for in the original game despite the fact it's actually bull. The Ring of the Chieftain began as a troll in 2014 by player P, who said in a stream that you could buy the item from the character Yurt if you kept him alive during the entire game. The joke being that Yurt actually runs amok, killing many important NPCs in the game if he's kept alive after the player frees him, so the best option is really just to kill him as soon as possible. The hoax later gained steam when Peep shared a joke mock-up of the Ring of the Chieftain on Twitter, with many believing it was real, tricking them into ruining their game in pursuit of an item that will never actually be found. Or will it? As apparently it's been found on the date of the new Bluepoint remake of the game. The Chieftain ring can apparently be found in the files, as confirmed here by hacker Lance McDonald, with a 3D render recently being found thanks to a new PlayStation 5 jailbreak. As of now, we only have the assets related to the Chieftain's ring in the files, but we have no idea if that means if it was removed from the game or if it's still in the game hiding somewhere waiting to be found. I'd like to believe it's an unsolved Easter egg, though I'm also hopeful we don't find out it was a throwaway joke we weren't supposed to see before we've wasted hundreds of hours searching every corner of the game looking for it. Until then, it looks like Yurt's going to be killing a lot more NPCs. The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners. Thanks to UntidyHexagon for submitting this mystery on the Oddheader Reddit. 2020's The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is regarded as one of the most immersive VR titles available now. A survival horror game based on the popular zombie TV series, where players have free range to explore the ruins of New Orleans, scavenge for resources, and kill zombies, aka walkers, to survive. Which is why it was even more unsettling when UntidyHexagon encounters something that didn't appear was ever meant to be found while playing the game on their PlayStation VR. When Untidy found a bizarre, unkillable thing that kept following them around and repeatedly attacking them, which wasn't a walker, but what the f***? Whatever it is, it continued to attack and chase Untidy, with none of Untidy's blows landing or having any sort of way to inflict damage on its health. That is, if it's at all possible for an Enigma to have health or take any sort of damage. What a nightmare. I can only imagine the dread Untidy must have felt with this thing following them, because just watching this footage alone is giving me the creeps. That's weird. Did just jump backwards. The strange enemy continued stalking Untidy until it finally killed them. And that wasn't even the last time they would see it, as Untidy reported they had the same experience again on the same map, but the second time the object was smaller and moved even faster. As much as I'm a fan of VR and was really looking forward to playing Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, I'm not even touching this one until I get confirmation they patched that little Roomba out of the game. World of Warcraft. Thanks to OnyRoo for submitting this long-standing World of Warcraft mystery to me on the Oddheader Twitter. In the Isle, the Watchers area of the game, can be found 9 owl statues on the island that have confused the community since they were first introduced in patch 703 in July of 2016. Interacting with each of the statues will either grant the player one of 4 buffs while emitting a different colored aura, or give a message saying you cannot do that yet. Players who've dedicated years to researching this mystery believe that interacting with the statues in a certain order will unlock the next step to the puzzle. The only problem is there's over 360,000 different sequences in which you can interact with all of the statues, which kind of seems like a lot. And there's not really a way to do that quickly, so countless other seemingly related clues to the mystery have been found since, but the The rabbit hole of seemingly endless theories is so long it could really be an entire video in itself. Then in 2018, players received a clue when a voice line for the character Moirai was added to Heroes of the Storm, a different game also made by World of Warcraft's developer Blizzard Entertainment.
Why yes, I do know the secret behind the owl statues on the Isle of the Watchers. All wardens do. We just won't share it with you.
Which honestly doesn't tell us jack shit about the owl statues, and could just be a push to get more players to try and solve the mystery, as World of Warcraft's associate game director seemed disappointed when he said in an October 2016 tweet that players still haven't found all the secrets in 7.0, when 7.1 was due out soon. Wait a second, do you expect this to be solved in less than 6 months? Try more like 6 years and counting. Not even close, considering we haven't even solved the first step of a potentially larger mystery. At this point, I'm not sure if it's going to get solved ever. Disney's 102 Dalmatians, Puppies to the Rescue. Thanks to Dusty for submitting this discovery to me through the Oddheader Twitter. Follow me on there for more mystery updates. 2000's Puppies to the Rescue is a tie-in to the live-action Disney movie 102 Dalmatians, which came out the same year. The game is a pretty simple, kid-friendly platformer that follows 2 Dalmatian puppies, one of them voiced by Frankie Muniz in one of his first acting gigs, as they stop Cruella de Vil from capturing pets and freezing them into hyper-realistic toy figurines. Freezing dogs into toys, however, isn't the only strange thing in this game. As in the 3rd level, if you were to run up to this phone booth and answer it, at complete random you'd hear this. That doesn't sound like any language that I know of. Dusty's been asking around the internet for months to figure out what this could mean and hasn't found anything, though some could argue you're hearing this spooky gibberish because we're playing as a dog. The human characters speak normal English throughout the rest of the game. Of all the odd heads watching over the globe, does anyone have any idea what the f this dude is saying? Wolfenstein: The New Order. Thanks to enig for submitting this mystery on Oddheader.com. Wolfenstein: The New Order is the 7th installment in the long-running first-person shooter franchise, where players fight against the Third Reich in an alternate timeline where they weren't defeated in World War II. enig was playing the intro segment in the game when protagonist William Blazkowicz awakens in the middle of an air raid with his comrade Fergus, where he somehow manages to survive 2 head-on plane collisions. At one point in the sequence, Blazkowicz and Fergus prepare to jump from their aircraft to another, and Fergus asks you to hold the cockpit door open to prepare for the jump. However, when enig was playing, he decided not to open the cockpit door as he was still exploring, and Fergus continued to command him to open the door. enig went over to Fergus where he kept asking what he was doing, when suddenly a crowbar appeared next to Fergus and swung at the screen, and even had something to say. Hold it open! It's a little hard to discern, but it appears to be a developer or someone other than Fergus calling the player a dick. enig rebooted the mission and decided not to listen to anything Fergus had to say again. And sure enough, the magic floating talking crowbar again called him a dick. Why this happens is not exactly clear, but my best theory would be that it's likely a removed or unfinished Easter egg where possibly Fergus would have swung at you for your refusal to cooperate, and the developers possibly either forgot or removed the animations for Fergus in the unusual voice recording. Either that or it's intentional, and probably the strangest way a developer ever decided to let somebody know how they really felt about their inability to follow directions. Hell Knight, aka Evil Knight. Thanks to DaviDoom for submitting this mystery on Oddheader.com. Evil Knight is a 1998 arcade game by Konami that features cops battling waves of zombies in an old mansion, not unlike Sega's more popular House of the Dead series. Aside from being one of the rarest arcade games to find due to low sales and failing hardware, Evil Knight is also notorious for its corny voice acting.
Can we control this enormous adverse tide of entropy?
But we've got to look for Liv.
Not only that, but it's also remembered among its die-hard base for a mystery surrounding the supposed perfect ending in the game. As in the game, there's several good, normal, and bad endings, as well as a sticker on the arcade cabinet that says use your skills to achieve the perfect ending. Too bad after 24 years, no one has ever figured out what the perfect ending is or how to actually unlock it. Although one mysterious key in the game may just be, well, the key. In the game, there's a seemingly unused key that no one's sure what the purpose is. While there are several padlocks and locked doors throughout the game, they're opened by being blasted instead of using a key. In addition, there's also an unused red book in the player's inventory that also seems to serve no purpose, as well as 2 unused music tracks on the game's soundtrack that some theorize might be part of the secret ending. Either the unused book and key could unlock the unfound perfect ending, or maybe they're just leftover assets from an ending that was cut by the developer. But considering an unfound perfect ending could mean more never before heard dialogue for us to make fun of, we could be sitting on a goldmine of bad voice acting that's been waiting to be laughed at for over 20 years. We gotta find that ending quick.
I feel
What is this guy doing?
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Here he comes.
Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is the sixth major installment in Ubisoft's popular action-adventure series. Released in 2013, the historical parts of the game take place during the golden age of piracy, in which protagonist Edward Kenway meets several real-life pirates including Blackbeard, Mary Read, and Anne Bonny. More fearsome than any of these pirates is a mysterious object that haunts the final cutscene of the game. In the scene, Anne Bonny sings a traditional song, The Parting Glass, to all the characters who remain before they go their separate ways. It's a very sentimental moment among the friends where all the characters are emotional, though they should probably be a little more concerned about this fucking chair that straight up flies past in the background. Why this chair decided to up its ass out of this otherwise powerful scene certainly leaves a lot of questions. Was a ghostly entity present at the scene without a reservation, need an extra seat for a table nearby? Or was this chair never supposed to be in the scene at all as a result of some sort of poor development error behind the scenes that completely ruined the seriousness of the scene? I'll let you be the judge of that one. Moirai. Thanks to Swanzilla for spinning this mystery on my Discord server. Moirai was one of the most disturbing and experimental games ever made, which was made available on PC until its designer pulled it offline in 2017 due to attacks on its database. The game opened with the player on a farm in a small town, when a lumberjack runs up to them saying he and his brother heard moans coming from the cave, and his brother went to investigate and disappeared. He asks the player character to go find out what happened, and on the way down, a second lumberjack hands you a knife saying, "Who knows if you might need it." I don't like where this is going. Going down the middle of the three paths revealed a farmer covered in blood, at which point you can ask him questions about the blood, why he has a knife, and the moans. Except the twist is that their answers are actually supplied by the last player who played the game, which made for some pretty wild answers. And once you heard the answers, you had the choice to either kill or spare the farmer, and then afterwards see the source of the moans, a dying woman who begs you to mercy kill her before the game gives you the option to do so. After leaving the woman, you're now the farmer covered in blood who has to answer the questions, and because the internet is full of trolls, got about as interesting and strange as the internet tends to get. However, the mysteries of Moirai don't end with whatever drives someone to write something like this, as if you went down one of the other paths before encountering the farmer, you could find a hole that's described as having an unreachable shiny object inside. Unfortunately, it remains unsolved what the shiny unreachable object is, and unfortunately that's probably how it will always remain, considering the game's been offline since 2017. Some players suspect it could have been a key to the barn outside the cave that remained blocked throughout the game, but all things considered, maybe it's a good thing we don't find out what's actually inside the barn. Hitman 2. Thanks to Marcus for submitting this mystery on the Oddheader Discord. Hitman 2 is the seventh main installment in the popular stealth series released in 2018. At one point in the game, Agent 47 is sent to the Whittleton Creek suburb to eliminate a former Cold War spy master who resides in the neighborhood. Along the way, the player can come across random resident Helen West, whose passion is to make muffins for the neighborhood. Though it can be revealed through certain actions, she also has a passion for poisoning. And it can be revealed she actually killed her neighbor Frank Schmidt. Strangely, although Helen's motive for killing Schmidt is never clear, players manage to find something else residing in Smith's house that's meaning is also never revealed in the game. As in the basement of his house, you can find a strange vault with a laser security system that doesn't seem to do anything when disarmed. However, the map shows there is a room behind it that players had no idea how to access for some time, until they finally figured out at complete random that you had to open the garage door, ring the doorbell 3 times, and then come back to the vault and the room would suddenly be open. Well, that was obvious. Inside the room, they found a giant humanoid bird statue, and by the look of things, no one's been in here for a while. Near the statue is an axe that the player can take with them and use on enemies, but doesn't seem to be anything particularly special. Other than some locked boxes that the player can't interact with, there's nothing else in this room, nor is there any explanation why this bird gargoyle is guarding this unnecessarily highly secured room. It's still unclear what the meaning of this creepy bird statue is and if in any way relates to why Helen decided to kill Frank. Unfortunately, the answer probably solely resided inside of Schmidt's brain, which seems to mean we're Schmidt out of luck, as according to Helen's recipe, Schmidt's brains appears to be her new favorite ingredient. And thanks again to Ninja Must Die for sponsoring this video. The game features a unique art style with gorgeous ninjutsu moves with lots of really cool weapons and characters, such as Kuro, who dreams of becoming a great ninja, Rin, who wants to lift the curse of her clan, Suga, who wants to know what's happened to his teammates and avenge them, Riki, the panda guardian of the bamboo village, and the newest ninja, Pepper, a hot-tempered girl who causes explosions with her body. Play Pepper's side story to learn the secrets of her mysterious power. On top of this, the game offers 3v3 multiplayer with an original strategic combat experience involving the use of cards to throw off your opponent. Download Ninja Must Die with my link down below to earn rewards and bonuses today. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, and if you know of any other mysterious objects that you'd like to see me cover, submit through Oddheader.com, come join the Discord, or even send me a shout through Twitter or Reddit. And thanks again to Slippy Slides for helping get the footage in this video. Feel free to subscribe to him down below as well. Shout out to Angel the Fox, Ash Photography, Andrew FM, BitWiff27, Chad Biscuit, Combat 15 Bull, Dear Mid Crowley, Flex, Grow Ups, Ed Moffat, Eddie Talkspin the Bleach Primid, Fox M Cloud 123, Leo Maurer, Miss Arctic Foxy, Rackman22, Red Team Medic, Riley S, Robert Eisenman, Rolkot Miflua, Scarities, Starcore 2, Tenryu UERnet, Terran Stock, Towerizer, and Jan Banier for their Patreon support. Stay tuned.